Nobody really understands when nothing is working for them, right? Nobody understands what is the problem going on. They don't realize what the problem's going on, and they don't even realize what they're doing. And that's what I'm going to point out today. The 9 ideas of why you don't have anything working for you. Nothing's working. And one unanswered question at the end that makes you think so much that is holding you back, right? So let's begin. First one, first idea. Taught information, not execution. When you're taught information, how would you know what you're doing? How would you know? How would you know that? How to do this, how to do that? If you're taught theory, how are you going to do the practicality of it? How are you going to know the practicality of it? How do you know? Because I would love to know how. I would love to know how you know that. I would love to know because if you're just taught it, not shown, that's like literally useless. Because how are you going to use that in the daily life? You got to see it happen. You got to see the way it moves, the way it acts, the way everything works. That's why practicality is over theory every single time. Theory is in the mind and practicality is in the body, right? And you will remember everything because muscle memory. So practicality is always better, right? Which also leads you to what? Next one. Shown outcomes, not decision logic. Same with the practicality thing, right? You're shown outcomes and you don't even know the decision logic. Let's say somebody shows you, right? I wanted to invest in this thing. Why did you invest in that? They just show you they made 1.5 million. Wow, right? Why they managed so much money, but they don't tell you how they made that decision, how they came to that decision, how they looked at the market that day, and how they looked at the predictions and what their outcomes are going to be for the year and what earnings they're going to make. They didn't tell you that. They didn't tell you that they were looking at the news, looking at oil prices. It doesn't even matter. They didn't tell you that. You are just showing outcomes. So how do you even copy those outcomes if you don't even know the decision logic? How do you even copy those outcomes when you don't know the decision logic? Of course, makes no sense, right? Which leads us to the next one, right? Losses not being analyzed honestly. This links to nothing is working, right? Because every time you have a failure, that needs to be analyzed. How did you fail here? How are you not going to fail again? And if not properly analyzed, you're just going to be in a full circle, doing it again and again, with no purpose at all. Are we serious? You need to realize there's hierarchies within business, and if you actually analyze properly, even in life actually, if you analyze properly and learn from your mistakes, you will be much more respected, much more faster adapted. You need to adapt in order to be great. That is plain and simple. Everyone knows that. Next point, right? Which leads to the next one. Mistakes not being corrected, which is my point. If your mistakes aren't corrected, how are you going to learn? How will you learn? Because the problem is, if you don't learn, what was even the point? What was even the point of even trying? There is such a problem with not learning. Because how do you waste so much time on doing a failure which will drive you further to success? Because failures drive you to success. Failures are stepping stones towards success. And if you don't learn from the mistakes, it is no longer a stepping stone. It is now dragging you down. That's why failures are so brilliant, because you learn from them. They're corrected, and you won't fail at them again, making you one step closer to unstoppable. That is great. Which leads you to the next one. Psychology being blamed, not diagnosed. If psychology is blamed and not diagnosed, and you're watching someone say that, please leave. Leave that video. Leave. Because it actually leads you to a lot of things. It leads you to so many things. Because if your psychology is blamed, the way you think, and it's not diagnosed, That is you blaming yourself for that, and someone telling you blame yourself on that. You need to realize what is going on. You can't just blame it empty, like just an empty blame, just because you say it's your psychology. You need to realize what is going on, and then you can fix it. Don't place the blame blindlessly and do it and just leave it there. You must diagnose your problems, otherwise you won't learn from them. Which leads you to the next one. Rules vague or incomplete. If your rule is to do 5 push-ups a day, that is pretty good, right? But if your rule is do some push-ups a day, is that a bit too vague? If your rules are get some work done, is that a bit too vague? Will you incomplete it because you don't feel satisfied enough? There's always the idea of like, oh, I'm going to push for this, and then you're not satisfied enough. If it's too vague, how do you know you've actually done something good? You're always unsatisfied if it's vague. You need to have something solid, direct, and something that opens your eyes towards your rules. Discipline rules, motivation rules, doesn't even matter. They have to be very detailed. Well, not detailed, actually. Detailed and not vague and completed. You can't just leave them. Your word is everything. If you promise to do something, do it. Do it. Which leads you to feedback, too late or absent. Feedback, too late or absent. If somebody's telling you, if you're asking someone and they're telling you advice that you've already done it, that you've already taken that advice 3 months ago, and you already fixed that mistake 2 months ago, 3 months ago, what was even the point of asking that person? You need feedback as soon as you get mistakes, as soon as you hit failure. You need feedback. You need feedback on a new product. You need feedback. You need feedback in everything in life. So you need feedback to learn and quickly adapt. And if it's too late, you just wasted time. And if it's absent, then you haven't learned anything. You won't be able to learn anything. You need the feedback in anything in life, in sports, in business, in friendship, in partnership, in anything, in relationships, in everything, in looks, in everything. You need feedback. You need feedback. If it's not there, how will you know if you're doing good or not? And if it's too late, that advice is pointless. Pointless. Programs ended prematurely. If you're taking up a learning course or learning something, finish it through. If you're taking up starting a side hustle, finish it through. If you started a sport, get good at it. Never finish prematurely. Because what was even the point? I'm going to say this again. What was even the point? There is no point of finishing something early when you haven't reached your full potential yet. It doesn't matter if it wastes your time because that is an excuse, that is a symptom, not a cause. I've said this in my previous video. It is a symptom, not a cause. You need to realize that life always has its issues, but you need to finish these things as they will benefit you more than hurt you. Those are just made up mental challenges that, in my opinion, the devil is trying to put on you. Life has its challenges, but you need to you can't end things prematurely just because it's challenges. You have to pull through, finish it, because it benefits you so much more than you know. And then also, on the last bit, the 9th idea. You're sold hope, not truth. In my opinion, school is selling hope, not truth. This is with everything in life, right? People sell hope, not truth, because it's more profitable. Let me tell you, don't fall for the hope, fall for the truth. Because the truth will get you much further, much richer, much honester, much happy, more freedom, anything. And that is what is dragging you down and nothing's working because you're getting sold hope and not the truth. You're getting sold hope that when I finished university, I'm going to get a job so easily. No, you won't. Even if you go to Harvard. Actually, yeah. Yeah. Why? because every single person's gone there and took on the same job. And if you do get a job there, guess what? Your lifespan is 4 months because you work there and then get fired after 4 months. You know that $500,000 check you want to get a month, a year? Guess what? You only made 45K, and 43 of it is already gone. You have 2K left after working your ass off for 15 years. Now tell me, is that not selling hope? Exactly. And the unanswered question, right? Is this fixable for me? And I'm here to say it really is. It really is fixable for you. Everything in your life is fixable. Nothing is too late. Yesterday was the best time to start. Today's the second best time to start, right? Second best time to start. So start now. It is fixable for you. Always is fixable. It doesn't matter if you're 56 or you're 16 or you're 40 or 45 or 35. Doesn't even matter. If you're 20, 25, doesn't matter. It's always fixable for you. And the answer is, right? The actual real question is, do you actually want to fix it? Are you willing to put the work in and fix it yourself? Are you willing to put the work in and fix it yourself? Are you? Because if you are, this shouldn't even be a question. This hurts your mindset and psychology so much. That is actually oblivious and awful to even think about. Is this fixable for me? It always is. It always is fixable for you. And to put the cherry on top, right? This is so fixable. And I can actually most likely fix it for you. As I have made a literal program, link in the description, which talks about the 4 key ideas of how to change your life around and see the world differently, which will lead you to success if you use them and watch the video multiple times over. And they will lead you to success if you use the information correctly. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme or whatever. It is just 4 principles of mindset and psychology, which I talk about and reaffirm multiple times throughout the video, that they are so important that you need to realize them, and you need to realize them now. They have key points that you need to know. Key points that will drive you to success through discipline, motivation, money, status, relationship, anything. And I've learned this from multiple mentors. So if you're interested, click link in the description, and I hope you enjoy. This is fixable for you. And if you want to take it one step further, click link in the description, and I hope you enjoy. Thank you.